I would like to introduce you to our newest kitchen gadget. And you may say, Lori, why in the world are you showing us about a popcorn popper? Well, I just thought you might like to know. Let's dive in to this Presto Orville Redenbacher's popcorn fountain. Welcome to Ridgehaven Homestead. From the mountains of Upper East Tennessee, we share snippets of our off-grid life, cabin build, and garden blessings. Pour yourself a cup of tea, sit back, and take a peek into our off-grid home and family. We needed a new popcorn popper. I had actually assumed that we didn't need a popcorn popper because I was having such a great time making popcorn on our stovetop. In our pressure cooker, it was working great. I loved it. I would use coconut oil and pop our popcorn. I just love the taste of it doing that way. But lo and behold, my husband requested that I start trying to air pop our popcorn again. And it's the strangest thing because probably, I don't know, 3 weeks to a month, no more than that, before he asked me that, I had cleared out our old popcorn popper that we'd probably had for 10 years. It was collecting dust, just sitting on the shelf, and I kept moving it from point A to point B. So I didn't think we needed it. I wasn't really happy with the old normal kind of air poppers. They did fine, but they ended up spitting a lot of popcorn kernels into the bowl unless we like specifically held like a pot holder in there. And so my husband was specifically asking for a different kind of popcorn popper because his teeth are getting sensitive, and he kept being afraid that he would break his tooth on a kernel. And he pointed out also that when I made popcorn on the stove, it turned out harder and crunchier, and occasionally with more old maids. So I realized that was true. Although I like it, I don't mind the crunchiness. I didn't realize that he needed that softness. So I did lots of searching. I looked at all the traditional, upright air poppers, looked at the whirly pops that you turn on the stove, and those look kind of cool. And then I looked at the ones that take oil and they pop up into a bowl. There were so many different kinds, but I just wasn't getting a good synopsis on the reviews. So I finally said I will give this a try. It looked like the magic bullet for us, and so I thought, well, it's not going to hurt to try. So this air popper, it is an air popper, even though it is a different kind of design. So it has a lid, like a dome, that actually makes into a bowl. There is a lid at the bottom that snaps off, and I'll show you about that in a minute. But there are holes in the bottom, and they serve a very specific purpose. What you may also notice about this interesting air popper is that it has these 3 flaps that come up while the popcorn is popping. And so I thought that was kind of fascinating. It doesn't take any oil, so you can do like a low-fat popcorn if you want to. We always add our seasonings afterwards anyway. So I had no idea how it was going to be. I figured it's a gamble, but it had pretty good reviews, and so I figured it was worth a try. This is not really a new design. In fact, it's been around for I think at least 8 years, but it's new to us, so we've been trying it out. There's no way to try it except for by putting some popcorn in and putting it to the test. So let's go ahead and do that. Before we even start popping, before we add any popcorn, we always have to remove this cap because that allows the steam to escape. And now let's just get the popping going. Okay, once we've removed our dome, set that to the side, we open up the flaps. And this one is moderately fixed. It has this little tab on the back that allows it to not go all the way forward. It's designed that way on purpose. Okay, the important thing to know about this is we never want to exceed 1/2 of a cup of popcorn. I'm using a white popcorn. There is a line inside that tells you how far not to go over. Okay, once we put the popcorn in, we got to close the flaps, put the dome on, and then we plug it in. There is no on-off switch. It's just a plug in and unplug. You'll notice when the popcorn pretty much stops popping, that's when you have to unplug it, just like a normal popcorn popper. And here's when you put the lid on. You snap it tight. It does snap in place, and be careful because the bowl can get a little bit hot. The next step is you're just going to take it by the handles and you're going to give it a flip. So that's a normal thing that you would expect, but the next step, you're going to take it and gently shake it, because the idea is you're going to get all those kernels that are hanging around in here down to the bottom through those little slots into the lid, where they hopefully will not break your teeth. Okay, so you just give it a few shakes like that. And then at this point, you have a nice bowl of popcorn. You can season it at this point, and many times I have done this, but you can also, once you feel like you've shaken all the kernels down to the bottom, and it's just kind of an eyeballing experience, you can either take the lid off and check for any more kernels, and sometimes I do that, or you can put it in a separate bowl. What actually I like to do is both. So let's check this out. I'm going to open the lid carefully at the bottom. There is a tab at the bottom for opening it. Okay, and we find out that there are popcorn pieces and then several unpopped kernels, or old maids as we fondly call them. So I like to look here and see if there's any more that seem to be sticking in the cracks, and actually I see one. Pour it into our bowl here. We have found that this works really well. I don't think we've found any really old maids mixed in with our popcorn, unless they're partially popped like that one I just showed you, and those are pretty rare. So I think that we actually have accomplished what we meant to accomplish in this, and that is getting a popcorn with just the popcorn and not the hard old maids. So I would say I think we are pretty happy with this. I definitely was surprised. I wasn't sure what to think about it. My husband's happy because he's not having tooth pain when he bites into an unpopped kernel, and I'm pretty happy because it seems to work. And hey, one more appliance that at least I know it's going to be used. If I know it's going to be used, then I don't mind having it on the shelf. It's just when it's sitting there collecting dust that I'm kind of reticent to keep it around. We do make popcorn every single day. My husband is fairly a creature of habit, and so during the summer especially, he likes something light for his lunch, and so he'll take a gallon bag of popcorn, and so I can make this every day and make a couple batches a day even, and it will be eaten up just like it's going out of style. So whether you're looking for something that is just kind of fun and quirky, so far, as long as it is serving the purpose, I'm happy, my husband's happy, everyone seems to be happy. So we're keeping the fountain hot air popper. I'll put a link in the description in case you want to find it. I do recommend it. You can use this as a bowl by just having this snapped on, and you can serve the popcorn right out of this bowl. If you're going to make a lot like we do, you're going to need a bigger bowl, but if you're just going to have like one or two people, this is perfectly fine. That size is great. So let me know if you've seen this, if you've tried it, or what your favorite way of making popcorn is. I think my favorite way is still on the stove with coconut oil. Leave a comment. Let us know what your favorite kind of popcorn is. Until next time, stay safe, be well, and may God bless you.